The UFC lightweight division sees the rise of the Iranian powerhouse as he calls out the best in the game. Beneil Dariush begins 2023 with a huge turning point in his career. With a crushing victory over Mateusz Gamrot back in October, the 33-year-old jiu-jitsu specialist has set his sights on only one thing: the UFC lightweight title. Let's dive into all the hot takes. First up, a step into greatness. Be it the menacing Charles Oliveira, the hard-hitting Dustin Poirier, or the champion himself, Islam Makhachev, no one crushes the determination of Beneil Dariush. The Iranian wants all the smoke as he wishes to start his 2023 with the mindset of a champion. Talking to UFC.com, Dariush admitted that he is at a crossroads in his career, one that could go either way. He wants to fight the best of the best, and not just in terms of rankings and numbers. And by doing so, he believes it will be his first step toward greatness. Beneil wants no regret as he goes on in his career. He believes he has proved his worth for a shot at the lightweight title, hence he won't really care about the outcome of Islam Makhachev's upcoming bout against Alexander Volkanovski. The UFC has been ambiguous with its game plan toward the Iranian, however, leaving Beneil wondering if he'll even get a shot at a belt. Dariush is happy to wait while he speculates a fight in March, name-dropping the top 3 top guns in the division. Beneil has always been a fighter, even before he took up jiu-jitsu as a sport. He says that his time off from fighting gets him bored. It was never about the money. His knack for fighting the best led him to a bout against Mateusz in UFC 280, where he won via decision. One of the reasons why Beneil took that fight was to earn a place as a backup for the upcoming matchup between Makhachev and Oliveira. Coming up, Dariush predicts Makhachev versus Volkanovski. After returning from Abu Dhabi, Beneil has been a different animal, one on the prowl to really make the most of the time he has left in the UFC. 33 is a pretty ripe age, and it is fair the Iranian wants to utilize his prime to the best of his abilities. You can say it is now or never for the lightweight powerhouse, as he is shooting straight for the gold. It isn't easy though, because the fighter who has the title wrapped proudly around his waist is one of the most feared fighters in the division right now. Islam Makhachev has taken over the mantle from his coach and UFC legend Khabib Nurmagomedov. As Islam faces off against Volkanovski at UFC 284, Beneil's eyes will be on the winner of the bout to determine who his training campaign focuses on. The Iranian has made his prediction for how the battle will turn out. He firmly believes that Makhachev will retain. However, if there is anyone who is going to knock Islam off his perch currently, it's Volkanovski. He commended the Australian's fighting style standing up, but is skeptical about how good his ground game is. A place that we are very much aware of is the Dagestani domain. Beneil is curious to see how Volkanovski can handle Islam's pressure. Dariush claims both fighters are a puzzle he would love to solve. He expressed his enthusiasm to fight the menacing Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier, and Michael Chandler, the best of the best in the division. Talk about wanting to smoke. Now for Beneil reveals game plan for Dustin Poirier. Beneil has expressed his knack for solving puzzles, and when speaking to Submission Radio, the great has revealed his game plan to dissect arguably the best striker in UFC right now, leading up to a potential clash in the future. Beneil shot at Dustin, saying he was sluggish during the starting hours of the fight. He plans on capitalizing on this and going 0 to 100 from the get-go against Poirier to catch him off guard. Beneil is very well aware of how Dustin can be once he gets in the flow of things. He plans on stopping him before he really gets going. And Beneil was just getting started. The number 4 ranked lightweight had a hearty suggestion for Poirier to retire. He expressed how he meant it in the nicest possible way. He suggested that Dustin hang up the gloves if he is only going to choose opponents with the most prominent names, and warned him that the youngest and hungriest fighters were going to walk through the UFC curtains to call Dustin out. Beneil has been quite open about his frustration towards fighters who don't agree to fight him. Dustin is no different. Provocation? Maybe. Entertainment for us fans? Definitely. If there is anything we know about the Diamond, it is that he really isn't one to duck, and we'll call it how it is. We're yet to see a response from the fighter. Still, it's a treat to see Beneil's confidence revealing his game plan against one of the most analytical fighters in the business right now. Following up with Dariush versus Oliveira, by the looks of it, it's difficult to imagine a matchup in March between Dustin and Beneil, which has us searching further for a formidable name to share the ring with him. Dariush is coming fresh off of an 8-match win streak. Honestly, it would be a pretty interesting matchup to see him go up against Brazilian powerhouse Charles Oliveira. Beneil ruled out the possibility of anyone other than Charles facing him in February, claiming that he and Gaethje would be a good title bout instead. It only makes sense for him to compete against the man who was on the receiving end of an Islam Makhachev masterclass. A win against Oliveira would increase Beneil's chances to shoot straight for the title, given Islam wins his bout against Volkanovski. The Iranian does not want his legacy to be revered as a backup for the biggest name in the business. He expressed his excitement for a potential bout against Charles Oliveira. As for the Brazilian, he has already posed for his redemption for a title shot and is willing to go up against whoever will help him do that. Oliveira broke the news recently, talking more about his future plans that, by the look of it, include Dariush. He acknowledged Beneil's frustrations on being sidelined by the business, claiming that the same thing happened to him when he stayed outside the top 5 waiting for an opportunity to show up. He expressed how he needs a guy who is winning. Guess an 8-match win streak doesn't sound too bad. Not to mention, Josh Thompson reveres Beneil as a top dog. UFC veteran and analyst Josh Thompson has come out in the Weighing In podcast and acknowledged Beneil's fighting prowess, claiming he is the only one who can give Islam Makhachev a run for his money. Now that says a lot, considering Thompson has seen Islam's game up close and personal, being his training partner at the American Kickboxing Academy. The ex-Strikeforce lightweight champion believes that Beneil's well-balanced fighting style will create trouble for Khabib's protege. Islam has wreaked havoc in the division, with his grappling being a menace for whoever looks to fall victim. Khabib has created a monster here that is controlled and analytical of his opponents. Thompson claims Beneil's unorthodox demeanor and fearless approach to his fights. The Great has a knack for slowing the tempo down and having opponents fight at his pace. Josh added how Beneil's signature Granby roll antics will leave Islam or any fighter perplexed. If Islam takes him down, best believe that Granby roll is coming, and after that, Beneil will waste no time in going for the hands. Beneil is an intelligent fighter, and considering his enthusiasm to fight Makhachev, considering the form he is in right now, speaks volumes. Well before Makhachev's title reign, Beneil had been candid about how he felt about the fighter, claiming that he is as complete as a fighter can get, but didn't expect him to win a title anytime soon. It'll be interesting to see things coming full circle if he does fight him for the lightweight championship. What a story. Let's learn more about Beneil's life outside the octagon. All the hype surrounding the Great has us wondering, what is Beneil's story? Growing up in Iran, Dariush belonged to a devout Christian family and used to help around the family farm. The Dariush family moved to the United States, where Benny would usually socialize with his cousin and be devoid of friends due to the language barrier. It's fascinating how today, Beneil represents his country and his family inside the octagon. Beneil was the former RITC lightweight champion and didn't taste defeat until his 7th professional fight. Despite being a rebellious child always ready for a scrap, Beneil is a mama's boy. He is revered as one of the most liked fighters in the promotion. Rarely do you see him trash talking, and his love for the sport is unprecedented. He's revealed how Mother Dariush did not really approve of the career path her son is taking. He wasn't allowed to join a Brazilian jiu-jitsu gym until he was 18 years of age. After displaying his talent at an early age, the fighter seamlessly made his transition into the octagon. Beneil is not only a great son, but a loving father to 2 beautiful daughters and a husband to Victoria. Also, he prefers to keep his private life private, but we can feel his love for his family radiate as he shares anecdotes. His wife gives her 2 cents on his fights and was revealed to yell at him after his win against Carlos Diego Ferreira for not following their game plan. It takes a queen to keep a king in check. And finally, Beneil eyed by Arman Tsarukyan. Guess Beneil wouldn't have to wait long to find a new opponent, as Arman Tsarukyan eyes a spot amongst the top dogs in the lightweight division. The 6-2 UFC underdog handed the prolific Damir Ismagulov his first loss in the octagon. He is looking to fight either Charles Oliveira or Beneil Dariush in his next fight. Arman is an example of how Beneil has become the litmus strip for fighters to prove themselves in the division and truly be respected. It is highly unlikely that Dariush will take him up on the offer, considering the Iranian is edging toward the last stage of his career and wants nothing but the best in the business. And that's a wrap for this video. Who do you think Beneil Dariush will face next? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.